after performing some actions in our function, if we wanted to return some value, how we can return? So answer for that is by using a return statement. So apart from that, there are some more important aspects that we really need to understand in terms of return statement. So to understand that, watch the video till the end so that you can able to understand all the combinations very clearly. So having said that, welcome to the series of everything you need to know about Python in simplest possible way. So in this video, we will discuss about different combinations of return. So to start with, I will define a function. So in this function, what I will be trying to do is that I will add two numbers here. That is what I am doing here. I am taking number 1 and number 2 as parameters. So in this, what I will be doing is that I will perform the operations and I will assign the operation to result. So the operation is nothing but number 1 and number 2 here, summation of number 1 and number 2. So that is what everything that I wanted to do here. If I execute this, so this is got executed, which means this function is ready to use. So we can call this function and we can do the process. So let's say if I call this function add by passing 2 and 3. So I wanted to add 2 and 3. That is what I am trying to do here. If I execute this, so I am not getting anything. So you can carefully observe, right? I am not getting anything. Let's say I will take output. So I am using this output to assign the result of this add to output. So if I print output here, if I execute this, so you can see none. So by this, what you can able to understand is that whenever you are calling a function, whenever you are doing some operations inside of a function, if you are not mentioning the return statement in the function, by default, the function will return none. So by this, you can able to understand, right? So we are calling this function. So in this function, we don't have any return statement. So because of that reason, by default, it was returning, which is nothing but none here. So by printing that, we can able to see the result, which is none. So let's say if you wanted to return the value, you need to mention the return keyword. By mentioning this return, this result will be returned. So now I wanted to return the result. So I am mentioning result. If I execute this, this is got executed. So now if I execute this, so now this is got executed, we are getting 5. So what we are doing, we are doing the same process. We are calling this function. The function will be assigned to output. We are printing the output. So the only modification that we have done, which is inside of the function, we are mentioning the return statement. So when we mention the return statement, the default value none will be overridden with whatever the result, whatever the return that we are doing here. So here I am returning result. I can return anything for that matter. So it is not mandatory that whatever the function, that whatever the operation that we have done in this function, that is only need to be returned. That is not the case. We can return whatever the thing that we wanted. So we can return added here. So which means this function is added, whatever the parameter that you have passed were added. If I execute this, so this is got executed. So if I execute the same thing here, so we are getting the result, which is nothing but added. So because we are returning added as a string, right? So that is what it is returning. So like this, we can return anything from the function that we wanted to. So by conventionally, what we expect to return is that whatever the operation that we have performed, right? So that is the case here. The result, which is nothing but addition of this number 1 and number 2. So this is the one of the way that we can return whenever we wanted to return a single value. So here in this case, we are returning a single value, which is nothing but 5, right? So let's say if you wanted to return more number of values, because more, which means more than one value, how we can do that? What is the output? Let us go ahead and understand. So to understand, I will take one more function here. So I will take one more function here, add mul here. So this will add and multiply the results. So I am taking number 1 and number 2 here. So now what I will be doing is that I will do the operations of addition and multiplication. So I am mentioning addition, which is nothing but number 1 plus number 2 here. So after that, I will do multiplication, and the multiplication, which is nothing but number 1 multiplication with number 2 here. So after that, what I will be doing is that I wanted to return both addition and multiplication here. So to do that, what we can do is that we can separate whatever the values that we wanted to return by using this comma, and after that we can mention whatever the values that we wanted to return. So if I execute this, this is got executed. So now if I call this add mul with, let's say, some values, let's say 3 and 4 here, if I execute this, so we are getting a tuple. Understand carefully, we are getting a tuple, and inside of this tuple we are having 7 and 12. So 7 is nothing but the addition of these two values, 3 plus 4, which is nothing but 7, and multiplication of these two values, 3 multiplied by 4, which is nothing but 12 here. So the type that what we are getting, which is nothing but tuple. So to check the type, I am mentioning type here. If I execute this, we are getting the result, which is nothing but tuple. So by this you can able to understand, whenever we are returning multiple values, all of those values will be returned in terms of a tuple, right? That is what we are getting here. So let's say, in order to, this is comes in terms of a packing. So we are packing addition and multiplication result inside of a tuple, right? So when we wanted to unpack, we need to again mention the same comma separated values here. So to do that, I am mentioning add, let's say, result 1 and result 2. So result 2 here. So I am unpacking the result of this add mul for result 1 and result 2. If I execute this, this is got executed. If I print result 1 and if I print result 2 here, and if I execute this, we can able to get the two values. For 1, which is nothing but result 1, for result 2 we are getting 12. If I comment this and if I execute this, we can able to see 7, which is nothing but result 1, which is the addition of 3 and 4, right? So after that, if I execute result 2, and we can able to see the multiplication of 3 and 4, right? So by this way we can actually return how many number of values that we wanted by mentioning the comma separated values. So like this we can able to return. So after that, to make you understand more clearly, I will return more number of values. Let's say more here, I am mentioning a simple method which is more. So inside of this, I will just return some random values. Let's say 10, 20, 30, 40. So like this, I wanted to return these values. So if I call this more, and if I execute this, we can able to get the all of this result inside of a tuple. So I'm just explaining, I'm trying to explain you, we can pass any values for that matter by simply separated them in terms of a commas. We can get all of those values in a tuple in the calling. So I hope you can able to understand how this returning of multiple values works. So I hope that's it for this video, and you have found this video interesting. And to quickly summarize what we have discussed, by using this return statement, we can actually return whatever the action that we have performed and as a final result. So if you don't mention any return statement in your function, by default it will return none. If you mention any statement in the by using return, the value will be returned. So here we are returning 1, and when you wanted to return more number of values, you can separate all those values by comma, and all of those values will be packed inside of a tuple, and that tuple will be returned. So when you wanted to unpack, you can again mention the comma separated values in the unpacking side. You can able to get the unpacking result of the function. So I hope you can able to understand returning of single statement, multiple values, and even if you don't return anything, it will by defaultly return none. So I hope you have understood all the concepts explained in this video, and I hope you have found this video interesting. If that is true, hit the like button and comment whatever you think about this video in the comment section. And like this, we have some more things to discuss that we will discuss in our coming videos. To stay updated with my latest videos, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications to all, so that whenever I upload any video, you will get the notification. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.